Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity. How's it going, my squids? Today we're going to be reviewing Genesis Alpha 1, so it's a little bit of an interesting thing. I've kind of changed my opinion about it a little bit. I still think it's actually a great game, but I think it's a niche game for the person that has a lot of downtime or that really enjoys single player games and whatnot that involves like a lot of building, a lot of like downtime with collecting and whatnot. So just go into this game with an open mind if you're thinking about purchasing it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So Genesis Alpha 1 is quite the interesting game in terms of a description. So I'm just going to read what it says here on the Xbox. So it says, Genesis Alpha 1 mixes thrilling roguelike mechanics with a deep shipbuilder and a fast first-person action, putting you in the role of an interstellar pioneer. So yeah, that's about as best as a description as you're going to get out of me, because trying to classify this game with that many genres kind of lumped in together is a bit hard to classify. Now, with all that being said, that's not really a bad thing, to be completely honest with you. The fact that this like lump of a mess kind of works is really interesting. It's not even a mess. It's really just they clumped in multiple genres and somehow it kind of just fits all together. You've got the survival aspects with, you know, fending off aliens from trying to invade your ship, or whenever you're harvesting, you want to fend them off from your team that's actually, you know, picking up all the ore and whatnot. And then you've also got the deep shipbuilder part where, yes, you do build a ship. You're kind of building this like Alpha Centauri sort of thing, and it's mainly just, you know, for colonization purposes and whatnot, and you and your like colonial marines or whatever are pretty much just riding around in this, you know, spaceship looking for a place to live, and just kind of, you know, living on this ship as well. I don't think you're looking for a place to live, because as far as I know, you can't like, you know, collect planets or anything like that, or live on a planet. So you've got a lot of aspects that you wouldn't really think kind of work, but they somehow managed to make it work. Now, to talk about the shipbuilding really quick, to get that out of the way, which I think is the more of like interesting thing, is the shipbuilding is a little intimidating at first, especially if you don't watch the tutorial, because I'm an idiot and I just completely skip past the tutorial like a nutbag, and I just don't recommend doing that. I spent about 10 to 15 minutes literally trying to figure out how to connect like a hanger to my greenhouse, and I'm just like, how the fuck do you connect this shit? And the way it works is you actually have to have connectors on your certain like aspects of your ship. So if you don't have a connector, then it doesn't just, you know, you can't put shit wherever you want. There has to be a connector on whatever piece you're trying to build onto. If it doesn't have one, it doesn't work. And me, being the genuine idiot that I am, I just skipped past the tutorial, and it probably mentioned that, and I just never even heard of it. So it took me literally forever to figure that out. So just don't be dumb like me and skip past the tutorial. It's probably very helpful and definitely worth the information, so you're not wasting time. Aside from being a genuine dumbass, the shipbuilding aspects is kind of, you have your set building stuff, and then you also need to build onto that. So once you open up the game, you'll be met with you know, the cutscenes and whatnot, and then you'll get to the shipbuilding process, which you'll have your bridge, and then you'll have to build onto it. It'll ask you to build 4 things. I think it's a greenhouse, a storage, a cabin, and I think I forgot what the other one is, or that might have been it actually. And pretty much once you build that, you're pretty much good to go, and then you can kind of just do whatever you want from there. So from that point on, the gameplay is kind of just up to you and whatever you want to do. For me, I wanted to focus more on just getting everything set up in terms of everything I need. So that involved building a refinery, a deposit, a hangar, and stuff like that, so that way I could do planetary explorations and bring back ore. In order to refine them, I needed the refinery, of course. So with all that being said, you have a lot of collecting to do, and the way you do collecting is you use terminals within your like command center, whatever you want to call it, and you basically use the tractor beam in order to pull in materials from debris. Once you find debris in outer space or whatever, you essentially can scan for whatever materials that it may have, and then you use the tractor beam to pull stuff in. Now, keep in mind, whenever you're pulling in like, you know, materials from the tractor beam, you may also pull in unwanted friends. So at that point, you may want to have yourself or other marines on standby in order to make sure that they're able to defend the ship, because once those aliens get on your ship, they can full on infest your entire ship and, you know, just take over, and it'll be an absolute disaster, and you yourself have to play bug destroyer and just get in there and destroy everything. So that is a really cool concept, being able to pull on debris, and you know, you get unwanted creatures with the debris, so it adds that level of fear that, oh shit, we may be bringing on some crazy alien that might wipe my entire marines out. It's kind of got that like Alien versus Predator vibe, or just that Alien vibe, the movie and whatnot. It's like, oh shit, there's this alien that's, you know, sneaking on board and trying to take us out, and it's kind of a really interesting aspect, and I really enjoy that. It's something that I have never actually seen, so I'm really glad that they put that in, because it adds that level of fear along with, you know, your collecting, and kind of a sense of realism that may or may not happen if this was a thing. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the combat. So this is probably where the disappointment kind of sets in. It's not exactly top tier or top notch or anything like that. You're not going to be blown away. There's no melee combat from what I can tell. It's strictly just full on FPS. You just, you know, you're shooting at whatever, and the shooting isn't exactly, you know, super in-depth or anything like that, which is probably the better part about it, is that everything is not super overcomplicated. You've got a few varieties of guns. I haven't really gotten farther in the game to unlock more guns, but from what I understand, you've got an assault rifle, kind of like a revolver like pistol, a weird plasma grenade launcher that I don't really understand how it works, but it's cool. At least it looks cool anyway. And then you've also got like an automatic shotgun, which is probably so far my favorite weapon to use, because it's very accurate, does a lot of damage, and it's pretty good for clearing out like mobs of whatever. If you have like little creatures running around, that thing does a very good job of mopping them up. But I mean, there's not much else to say about that. It's pretty much just that, you know, you shoot, you aim, point, shoot, and that's kind of it. There's no real heavy mechanics. In terms of the movement, that's where things get a little janky, because I feel like you move at the speed of light. Like, your dude is straight up Sonic. Like, you are running so fast, it is insane. Now, as far as that goes, I kind of love that, and I hate it, because when I try and shoot and whatnot, I kind of get a little janked out, and I'm just kind of moving around, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm kind of like jumping around a little too much or whatever, and it just kind of fucks up my aim a little bit. Not that it's hard to aim, but it just kind of messes me up a little bit. But it's very good for when you're on a planetary surface, because then you can kind of just, you know, circle the map and look around for ore and look around for, like, you know, drop pods and whatnot. So it kind of balances it out with a negative and a pro, so it's whatever. I think it's fine. I wouldn't really complain too much about it, but I thought I might mention it. Now, let's get to the part that is the truest of disappointments, is the fact that this game does not, and I repeat, does not have multiplayer. No cooperative aspects, no PvP, no nothing. Do I want PvP? Hell no. Do I want cooperative multiplayer? Yes. This game genuinely screams multiplayer in terms of a cooperative aspect. The fact that there is none is such a disappointment, because I think that people would get a serious amount of enjoyment out of playing with friends, having to defend your ship from aliens and pirates and whatnot, while having to command your own troops as well as, you know, your friend that's with you. You have this like kind of sense of camaraderie that you could have, and just kind of work around with each other, and, you know, you have your friend working in the hangar bay doing other stuff, and then you also have, you know, you as the captain of the ship, you know, you're collecting debris while your friend maybe goes down to a planetary surface and actually, you know, goes and collects ore and then comes back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of aspects in this game that really would support multiplayer and really carry this game further than what it is. This game is great as a standalone solo game, but with multiplayer, I genuinely believe that it would go above and beyond. The upside to this conversation is that the devs of this game are completely aware of people actually asking for multiplayer. They have said that they're going to weigh their options, which is just a fancy way of saying maybe, but I honestly don't think they're going to do it, but I really hope that they're looking at it and really trying to, you know, pump it out, because if they do, it's going to be huge. It's really going to be just massive. So at this point, let's just cross our fingers and pray to God that they're actually really considering multiplayer, because if not, I don't see myself dedicating my time to this game for very long. I'm gonna play it till I have a lot of stuff, and you know, at the rate that I feel like I'm going, I don't think that would take me very long. And even still, once new games come out and whatnot, with Anthem just around the corner, Devil May Cry just around the corner, my time with this game is going to be very limited. So with multiplayer, I may actually consider not, you know, putting it on the shelf for a while and just keep playing it through the new releases and whatnot. So it's just a thing that I hope they consider very, very, very much. In conclusion, this game is fantastic, but I think it's fantastic for the right person. If I were you, I would do more research. I've done the best that I can to give you all the information that is at my fingertips at the moment from what I've experienced and what I've looked around with. So just be aware and go into it with an open mind if you're really going to purchase it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.